Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol. So today I'm asking the question, just how good is the new Mini Cooper? Ruby Roadster's in for some repairs and I've got a Mini Cooper as a courtesy car, so I thought I'd give it a review. And let's have a look, shall we? So this is a brand new Mini Cooper. It's the base Cooper. It's not a massively spec vehicle, but it is so new. When I picked it up this morning, it had 10 miles on the clock. It could do with a bit of a wash, but here we go. So let's just have a quick look round. As I said, not a massive spec. It's got quite nice alloys. I quite like the black and white contrast, but it's a standard Cooper 3-door. If we look round the back, you'll see the kind of new light clusters. Just the single exit exhaust on the left. But quite a nice looking car from the outside. Here we are inside then, and I'm going to put a link below to my Mini Clubman Cooper S review, because one of the things I noted in here with this new Mini, you've still got the dish display, but with the new Mini, that's no longer a speedo. The speedo and the rev counter are now combined in the central part here, so we've got the speedo in the middle and then the rev counter on the left hand side, and that kind of leaves this big dish with no job really. In the Cooper S that I reviewed, it was the sat-nav, and there's a big widescreen sat-nav here. Whereas in this vehicle there's no sat-nav fitted, so you've just got the radio controls in the middle, which are okay, and I quite like this detailing around the outside, but I kind of look at it and go, there should be a speedo in there. This car's fitted with keyless go, so although we have a key here, there's actually nowhere to put it, so all I need to do to start the car is just to push this quite cool start button there, and the car started. And that's really cool. My biggest problem though with keyless go cars is, where do I put this? Yeah, I can put it in my pocket, but you know, otherwise I have to find somewhere in the car. There's nowhere for me to put this, whereas in my Mini it slots into a little thing in the dashboard, and then I don't have a key rattling around the car, so I'm not a big fan of keyless go and nowhere to put the key. What I do like about the new Mini compared with the old one on the model that I've got is the window controls are actually on the door and not down here in this center console where you'd find them in my car on the left and the right hand side there. I just think that makes far more sense. I quite like that. For me, it's what's under the bonnet that's quite interesting about this car, and you can see this car's so new it's still got the kind of blue cellophane cover on the Mini logo, but this is a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder twin turbo petrol engine. And I've already driven the car a bit, and it is really quite punchy. It kicks out 136 bhp with 220 newton meters of torque, but it's the performance figures really for a 1.5, so it'll do a top end of 130 miles an hour, but 0 to 60 is dispatched in about 7.9 seconds, which is pretty good really. And the really impressive one is the fuel economy. So combined cycle on this car is quoted at just over 60 miles per gallon, which is pretty impressive. So let's get this baby out on the road and see what she feels like to drive. Well, here I am out on the open road in this little 3-door Mini Cooper hatch. I'm obviously very accustomed to driving Minis. I've got my little John Cooper Works Roadster, but I guess that's the kind of hardcore version, so I was quite intrigued by this car just to see what it was like in the sort of standard Cooper trim. It's got quite small alloys, so quite high profile tyres, so I'm kind of hoping that maybe the ride's going to be a bit more compliant, a bit more comfy, and so far that seems to be the case. But I was also quite intrigued by the fact that this tiny little 1.5 litre 3-pot twin turbo engine, I guess it's the way of the world now. We're starting to see smaller engines, lots of turbocharging to get sort of better fuel economy whilst maintaining performance. Yeah, so far it's quite a nice little unit. I like it very much. So I've got no driving gizmos in here in terms of things like sport mode and turning noisy exhausts on and things, but that's kind of not what this car's about really. You know, it's about having a nice practical car with a personality, and I have to say, you drop the car down into a lower gear and pull it down, and you know, it pulls away quite nicely. Gearbox is a little bit, it's not the neatest, snickiest gearbox in the world, but maybe I'm just being picky there. But when you get it in the right gear and you pull it away, yeah, she's got some poke. She pulls away really nicely actually. You never know it was only 1.5. But yeah, so far performance is very agreeable. So I guess from a driving position and comfort and space, you know, I'm a big tall guy, 6'3", and I've never had a problem with minis, getting in minis. They've, you know, certainly the newer generation of ones, there's plenty of space in this car for me, loads of room for my legs. I've got some tilt and rake adjustment on the steering wheel, which is nice. And I think, you know, in the back, I've got 4 seats in the back, which I'm not used to driving a Mini, but there seems to be plenty of space back there. I wouldn't want to do a long journey in there, but I guess that, again, that's not what this car's meant for. But yeah, lots of space in there, plenty of practicality. Yeah, so far so good. Let's talk specification, shall we? So base price for a Cooper on the road is just over £15,000. I think it's about 15.5 grand, and that's before you start ticking boxes on the options list. And I have to say, I'd want to be starting to tick some boxes, which is going to make the price go up. So this car's it's a courtesy car. It's got hardly any options on it at all. You know, I want a little bit more. I'm a bit of a sat-nav fan, so I'd want that. And they do all the kind of normal styling packs that you expect with the Mini range, and they encourage you to personalise your car. You know, you change the wing mirror caps and the colour of the roof, and give it a bit of a personality. And I like that about Mini. But I think if you did that, you'd start to the price would start to go up. But you know, £15,500, you know, even without too many options, it's a nice solid feeling car. It's good fun. I'm having a hoot here, and I've done a nice kind of B road, pushing on a bit, and it's great fun. You're not going to get into any danger of, you know, any big problems here from a speed point of view. You're just going to have a nice drive in a car that feels like a go-kart. Sorry Mini, whether it's this car or this model, but I don't like this gear change at all. It's like a spanner in a bag of bolts, basically. It's not. When you get it in, it's fine, but I've had a couple of times when I've gone to go for a gear and just it's been a bit wobbly around and not quite got in the gear. And I don't have any confidence in it yet. I've not been driving the car long, so it may be a little bit towards that, but you know, the change down into that's third, that's not too bad. Let's push on through this bend, nice. So you know, from sort of third, fourth, fifth, sixth, okay. I just have struggled with problems from third, second, and first. I even put it into reverse by accident earlier on, which wasn't a great thing, to be honest. I have to say, this engine's got some character. Just drop it down into second and oh, you see, there's a dodgy gear change again. So from this angle you can kind of hopefully see a little bit more about my view, and I do, with this centre dish thing, moving the speedo and rev counter to the middle, I kind of get that, but I miss it. I miss just having that big rev counter in front and the speedo over to the left. You know, when I'm driving my JCW Roadster, it just makes me feel it's like a bit more sporty. And I just find this rev counter just that little bit more difficult to spot what my revs are. So I'd still prefer to have the big dish speedo. I think they've lost a bit of the character there in moving that, and especially in this car without having the sat nav to make up for it. I just think I miss that about the previous generation Mini. So Evo has the Evo triangle. Petrol Ped has the Petrol Ped Harting hill climb. My favourite bit of road, as you all know. So let's just see how this baby goes up here. Just nice turn in. The road's a bit damp. I've got no real hunts of understeer there. Nice. Just goes around corners so well, Minis. They're just brilliant fun to drive. As I said, you don't have to go that fast, and you just chuck it in and it just pops around the corner. No worries at all, absolutely no drama at all. Just great fun. Absolutely great fun, yeah. Yeah, I like this car a lot. It's a hoot. So my final thoughts on this little Mini Cooper. I think it's great. great. It's an absolute cracking little car to drive. I'm a big fan of this little engine, little 3-cylinder, 1.5 litre twin turbo, but it's got lots of character. It makes quite a good noise as well. You know, I'm a bit disappointed with the gearbox, as I said, but I can kind of forgive that, because when you drop it down and you do get your gear, it's a really responsive little unit, and then you get to a nice little corner and you drop it into the right gear and you turn it in and just pull away, and it's it just puts a smile on your face. It's a great little car. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to do my closing the car because it's raining. So by the time I get back to the barn, I'll be stood outside under an umbrella, and I don't want to be doing that. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have done so, give me a thumbs up. As always, comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol. We've got some great stuff coming up and you don't want to miss out. So anyway, I'm going to sign off, guys. You take care, drive safe.